welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little bit different. As you can see, we are doing a DIY project slash vlog for the day. We will be making a plastic corset, and we are heading to Home Depot to buy a few things that we need. I will give you guys a list of everything that you need to complete this. The majority of it is not at Home Depot, so you have to plan ahead of it. I got the majority of the items on Amazon, but there's just a few little details that I missed out on. And we are doing a Home Depot run, so who doesn't love Home Depot? All right, let's go. All right, one thing we need that's super important is pallet wrap, so let's get it. My favorite aisle. All right, I got everything I needed, and now we're gonna head to the studio. Let's go. I wanted to share with you guys, I don't know about you, but every time I come to my studio, I come with a million things, especially on laundry days when I've done laundry for the studio and I have to bring everything back. So I purchased this bag. I've had it for about 3 years now. It's from a company called Holken. This is their medium-sized bag. I also have it in large. But I basically put all my laundry or anything that I need to bring to the studio for the day, like all my mail packages that I received. These are the supplies that for the corset that we're gonna work on. But it's super convenient. It's small. I mean, I have a very small car. My car is one of the smaller ones. I drive a Mini Cooper, so if it could fit in my car, it could definitely fit in yours. But the best part about this is not only is it big and does everything fit, it's on wheels. So it's easy to carry. It's a great little investment and you'll love it. Thank me later. All right, so these are the 3 main things that you're gonna need. Most importantly, what you need is plastic sheets. I will be including the link of the ones that I used. As you can see, these are black. But it doesn't matter, when we paint them, it's gonna cover it right up, so it doesn't matter. This is a plastic sheet that is moldable, flexible, and can be melted. And then your heat gun, which is very important. You need the heat gun to apply the heat onto this plastic and be able to mold it on top of your mannequin to be able to give you that shape that you want. And the other important thing is pallet wrap. I will be pallet wrapping my mannequin. By the way, I had gone to Home Depot. You guys saw that I picked it up and I was going to buy the one that was there, but it was expensive. And I figured if it's a project that I'm only going to be doing once, maybe twice, I don't need to spend $40 on a roll of pallet wrap. So I by no means cut any corners when it comes to my business. However, if it's not smart, I'm not gonna spend it. So these cost under $5 each, but even just getting 3, 15 bucks, it's still less than the $40 pallet wrap that I would have probably had for an eternity because I'm not using pallet wrap in my day-to-day. So Walmart, that's the best place to get it. Heat gun, you can get that on Amazon, and the plastic sheets are on Amazon as well. All right, so I have taken the dress off. I'm getting her ready. I'm gonna start pallet wrapping her. I will be pallet wrapping her on the stand. So this conveniently comes off, but I left it nice and tight on because I feel like it'll be easier for me to pallet wrap and just circle around her versus putting her down and then having to kind of turn it around. So it'll be easier for me to do it standing up. I'm actually gonna add some of my light weights, the weights that I use for my lights at the bottom of this, so it kind of stays in place. So yeah, let's wrap her up. All right, so I have taken her off the stand where she was, and I'm getting her ready and prepped for this process. The pack of plastic sheets, it comes with 5. I'm not sure if there's some that come with more or less, but 5 is the one that I got. As you can see, one full size is not the full size of her torso. So we are going to have to melt 2 on together to create this full corset. You don't need to worry about a seam because we are gonna be melting them on together. So once you melt it, that line kind of goes away. As you can see, I'm wearing gloves just because, once we start applying the heat gun to it, it gets hot. It gets hot, and not that latex gloves would protect them like oven mitts, but it's gonna help a little bit. This is not gonna be hot, like fire hot, but it will be almost like a hot wax, and it dries quickly, so you have to mold it as you go. So yeah, let's get this process started and see what these hands could do. All right, the plastic is not melting. I have done this before, but I use a thicker type of plastic, and I wanted to try to use something thinner. But I guess the thin one that I got isn't as heat resistant, or it is heat resistant. The other plastic I used that was thick was melting on a lot easier, so I'm gonna purchase a different type of plastic, and I will meet you guys back here. Okay, I got the right plastic. So I ended up getting heat resistant gloves as well. I got them at Walmart. They're easy to get right now. They're in season, you could get them. They're actually barbecue grilling gloves. They're $9. If you can't get them on Amazon, Walmart is definitely a good backup plan. But in the next slide, I'm gonna make it easy for you. I'm going to share an image of all the supplies that you need, and that way you could take a screenshot and it'll be easy to gather everything together. All right, here goes. All right, so before I actually get started, I'm going to cover my mannequin with aluminum foil just to have another layer of protection. I don't want the pallet wrap to melt, and I also don't want the mannequin underneath to melt. So let's cover her up in aluminum foil. Just to make my job a little bit easier, I am going to put push pins, since she's made out of foam. I'm gonna put push pins all along the sides. That way, as I'm melting it and designing it onto her, the foil doesn't move around. All right, so I'm going to start the process of melting the plastic onto the mannequin. I will be having the heat gun on my right hand because I'm a righty, and I will be having the heat glove on my left hand. I am going to put music over this just because the heat gun's loud and it's a little bit annoying, and unfortunately I left my mic at home today, so I don't want the sound to echo and just be a little irritating for you guys. So you will see that as I'm heating the plastic onto the mannequin, I'm going to be forming the plastic onto her. I'm gonna also be forming the top part of it, because the cool thing about this is that you could make the top to your liking. You could have either the plastic curled over, or you could have a sharp edge if you want, or just round it out. But I'm gonna have some type of little like curvature to the top and create a little design so it's different from the other ones that I have. Done one layer of the top. You'll see here it looks kind of clear, but that's because the plastic is hot. Once it starts to cool off, it will turn back to white, and the best case scenario would be that it peels right off. But I'm afraid the plastic is too thin when it melts, so I'm going to do a second layer of plastic over it just to guarantee that it's sturdy and that it won't snap off once I remove it from the mold of the mannequin. I am down to my last piece of plastic. I only need about, I would say 3 inches this way and about 1 inch that way. So I have no use for this big giant piece, so I am going to cut it as I need it, so I don't waste it and I can finish my project today. All right, so I am done for right now. Now that the plastic is still hot, as you can see, it's still very clear in some areas. It's starting to dry up top. But while it's still warm to the touch, I'm going to just fine tune it with my fingers. I am going to make sure that all the seams have been smoothed out, because like I mentioned earlier, you don't want to get any visible lines on the actual corset. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm going to just smooth everything out and then I will dry it. And if there's any little spots that I missed, I have an extra piece of plastic that I kept and I will melt it on just to fill in any gaps or spaces that I missed out. Let's dry up this baby and see if I missed any spots. Alright, now that this is seamed, the seams have been taken out and I have melted it on, I'm going to fix these little bubbles that are down here that I didn't like too much. I mean, even though it kind of gives it, that organic feel. Essentially, that's the idea. It's not supposed to look super polished and super perfect. It's supposed to look like you did it with your hands, you know? But these bubbles I don't like, so I'm going to melt them just a little bit. I'm gonna put the light setting on the fan and just with my fingers just tap it so those bubbles go away. All right, I'm gonna run the fan again and double and triple check that I do not have any empty spots.
3 hours later.
All right, so I'm getting ready to start the painting process. I'm first going to start with a primer, then with the actual color, then with the glossy seal at the end. I do realize that most spray paints now come with primer already in it, but I figured the more layers I could put on this, the better it'll be, because it'll make it more durable, more sturdy, and it doesn't hurt to add additional layers to your corset. So I'm going to start with the primer backwards, and then I will flip it over and do the primer at the top, and then from there we will paint and then gloss. All right, so the one thing you have to remember about this is that this is still meltable plastic. So if you're gonna let it dry, do not leave it outside. Well, it depends on where you're at. I'm in South Florida and it's brutal right now outside. So I'm going to take it inside where it's room temperature, have it dry up with the fan. Just make sure it's in a cool climate, and you don't wanna show up to a melted corset if you leave it in the heat. So I'm gonna wait a little bit, have this first layer dry, and then I will start with my paint. now I am going to take it inside, dry it up for a little bit, and then we will finish it with the clear coat. Almost done. All right, so I did the clear coat and I'm not 100% satisfied, of course, because I wouldn't be doing me if I was satisfied the first time around in a creative project. So I have an idea. I'm going to buy something and adhere it to the corset and give it some type of texture. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. All right, so I came back to the studio and I got some lace. These are some runners, lace runners that I had purchased on Amazon a couple months ago. I was doing a creative project and not sure when I'm going to use them again. So I'm going to sacrifice a few of them for the corset, and stay tuned. You're going to see what I'm going to do. I should be satisfied with the way this turned out, but I'm not. I already did the clear coat, so this is basically done. If you're someone who likes it like this, you're done. You're ready to go. You're ready to use it. But I have one like this in black. So I thought to myself, you know, if I'm gonna do another one, I gotta do it different. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I have this idea of placing the runners that I got from the studio, adhering them to the actual corset, and spray painting over it. This will stick the fabric onto there and it will give me a cool design. And then after, I'll just trim it around whatever is excess around the body part, but that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it a little bit differently. So come join me. Hopefully this doesn't turn out to be a total fail. All right, let's do it. Hi guys, I'm back at the studio. So I let the paint dry overnight, let it sit there, make sure that it was fully dry, because I did do a lot of layers of paint, because I painted it, then I clear coated it, then decided I wanted something else, and then I painted it again with the actual lace runners at the top. So you could have stopped at the clear coat part and called it a day, but I decided to do something different. So I could have stopped then. You have that option if you want to do two. You know, you could do one that's completely clear, or you could do one with a detail or add embellishments, rhinestones, whatever. I mean, the sky's the limit for that. There's so much that you could do. But yeah, enough blabbing. Let's see what it came out like.